Says, okay, Rowdy. Chuck called Rowdy up over the hill. Come on, boy, come on. So he runs, jumps up, right into the water. I got mud all over me from head to toe. And the dog's going, you know, and climbed. Bless his heart. He had more heart. That was a neat dog. But the story I wanted to tell you was in relation to Rowdy. During the winter, you remember winter? I don't remember winter anymore. I'm in Florida, you know. It's distant memories. The neat part about Florida, on the other hand, it's like 85 degrees down there and 85% humidity, so it's a trade-off. Anyway, so, you know the reason you have kids is to help clean up after things. You know, that's why we have them in the first place, right? Why else, for heaven's sake? Anyway, so the dog would always be let out in the backyard. This is when he lived in Parma. And you know what dogs do when they're let out in the yard, and the evidence of that would sink down through the snow and wouldn't be seen again until the snow melted. So here we got this whole yard full of little reminders of how many times Rowdy had been let out in the yard. So Mike, Mark, come on, get the cardboard box. And they went out there and picked up all the residue and stuck it in the cardboard box. He says, okay, I'm going to take it down to the park and fertilize the trees down there, okay? So he does, gets in the car. That's another story with a purple monster he had, the Impala. And he goes off the park and he pulls up in the gravel road and he looks around a little bit and gets out, stuck the stuff in the trunk, right? Lifts up the trunk, reaches in to grab the box, and he hears this wheels on gravel sound right behind him, and it's like, it's the forest ranger, the park ranger. It's like, ah, okay, you know, slam, and he goes off, right? So there it is in the trunk. 2 weeks later, Indian summer, you know how that happens? 85 degrees out there. And his wife, June, gets in the car to go get some groceries. Brings them out, opens up the trunk, and it's like, whoo! It had rotted through the cardboard box. Every little crack in the place. Oh, man. I should have followed Chuck around with a tape recorder and a notepad because he's had so many things happen to him. There was another thing with that car I was talking about. I remember we called it the Purple Monster. This is the kind of car, I think it had like 150,000 miles on it. You know how Cleveland, unfortunately, has a bad reputation for car thefts. It's like the car theft capital of the universe, it seems like. You know, any decent kind of car, you don't want to leave it unless it's under a street light, and even then, you're not really all that sure. So, to give you an idea of what he felt about that car, he used to leave the keys in the car, in the alley, the dark alley, behind the TV station, hoping it'd be stolen. But the thieves knew better. It never got, well, it did, one time. The cops came to the door, you know, rang the bell, and the engineers went up and let him back there while we were taping our show on one Friday night. And the cops came up and says, Mr. Shadowski, oh, hi, yeah, what is it? Says, well, we got your car back. Back? I didn't even know it was stolen. Darn, you guys are too good. You know? Anyway, who's got another question?
Houlihan, you mentioned your favorite skit. Did Big Chuck ever tell you what his favorite Houlihan skit is? Because every time he shows it, he tells the folks on TV land, it's my favorite Houlihan. He calls it an American in Paris.
I was going to say it would have to be the French thing, yeah.
Terrific. Terrific.
Pardonnez-moi, monsieur.
Your car. You
my foot. You
know. Love your accents here. We have a question for you right here.
Oh, okay.
You had a small bit in a Superboy TV series that was sold in Florida as a news announcer.
Yeah.
How did they find you?
How did they find me? Well, I don't care how they found me. It's the Screen Actors Guild, I hope, finds me because they try to get residuals on that. But no, it's the process is that you get an agent or two, you know, and then they put you up for these things, you know, for an audition. And you go and audition and you keep your old fingers crossed and do the best you can. You know, be prepared and, you know, hopefully have the talent to do it. And wonder of wonders, they chose me to do this part. Actually, I've been kind of fortunate along those lines because I did Superboy, I did a Farmer in the Dell on Nickelodeon. Or that was Disney Channel, right? Mickey Mouse Club, exactly. Thank you very much, my press agent. And Sequest, RSV, remember that one? Used to be on NBC, Sequest, I was on that. Had to blink. If you blinked your eyes, you didn't see me too much, but I was there. But that's one of those things about Florida, because they do film a lot there. Because it gets very expensive out in California, so they try to find other locations. Canada has picked up a lot of shooting for these films and series. Of course, X-Files, they moved it from Vancouver down to LA because, you know, David Duchovny wanted to be near his wife, Tia Leone, in California. But the problem is, typically you can get only a small role, because if it's a larger role, they'll already cast it out of New York or Los Angeles. So pretty much what is left is, you know, little things and stuff like that. I did a film called Long Gone about 3-4 years ago. And you probably know about it, because if you were watching at the time, Chuck announced it on the air, because of course I was kind of proud of the fact that I'd gotten this film. And I told him, and I think he told you too. And what it was I spent all week long doing this film. It was like a 1950s film, and they had to do with this AAA baseball team in Florida that was playing the championship game. And I was the play-by-play announcer, had about 15 lines. It would have been really neat, you know, on camera, the whole bit. And I was describing the bottom half of the 9th inning of this film, Long Gone. And so I told Chuck that I was going to be in it, and it was an all-day shoot, and I was just, you know, getting all primed. And the scene had where the two major characters had been bribed not to play in the game. It was the catcher and the pitcher. Catcher and pitcher were bribed not to play. So they're off in a bar, and they're listening to the game on the radio. And when the time came, mind you, I'm sitting in my sofa and I'm kind of leaning forward because I know my role is coming up, and of course it had been announced to everybody that, you know, this Houlihan's going to be on this show. And I heard the announcer, and it wasn't my voice. I'm going, uh-oh. Then I realized, no, they changed the script. It wasn't the script that I had read. And what's going to happen here is they didn't want to come into, you know, Clearwater again and redo something with me just for a voiceover. They didn't want to fly me out to Los Angeles. That'd be expensive. So they just used another announcer, and I'll be on in a minute, okay? So then they came to the game right up to the point where I would have appeared, and it wasn't on. They cut my whole part. Face on the cutting room floor. Hello, young man, how you doing?
Guess what? I was out in the audience and somebody said they would like to see a Readings by Roberts. Would you guys like to see a Readings by Roberts? Okay, well he's got to go backstage and get ready to do a Readings by Robert. While he's doing that, I want to tell you, stick around, because in about another 15, 20 minutes, we're going to have the Pizza Eating Championship. Mushmouth is in the house. He is here. He just landed from Atlanta at about 8:30 this morning, so he's a little tired, but he said he could eat, but he's hungry. Also, we want to make sure you know we have two buildings, this building and one across the way. So they're both free to go into. You paid your admission, so they're both your availability. And we're going to be here all the way until 6 o'clock. And there's Froggy right over there. And as you can see, the list of people that are going to be on here. In the other building, just to tell you that we have the people from Lost in Space that are there. Mark Goddard and Marta Christensen, they're all sitting there. And Jim Szymanski.
Any questions for Little John, maybe? Ah, Little John, like, you want to know his shoe size, maybe, or something like that, huh?
Only if they want to send me a pair.
Mustard brown shoes, by the way. Any questions for Little John? One, way in the back there? Okay, we got a very important question back here. Well, the robots, how live can a robot be? But they'll be landing, their spaceship landing, they'll be here at 1:30. Movie actor from Hollywood, John Solari, been in many Charles Bronson films, been in many Chuck Norris films and so forth. Great stories about making films out there. Big group photo at 2:45. Bring your cameras, videotape machines, everything. All of our celebrities will be on stage at the same time. That's the one time they all get together for a group photo. We'll hear from Houlihan at 3 o'clock again. We also have Mark Goddard and Marta Kristen from Lost in Space. They'll be on stage. We'll bring them out from the other building. The Big Ghoul Show at 4:15. Boy, you don't want to miss this one. It's a big crowd pleaser, the Ghoul Show. And Charel, the great synthesized music, coming up at 5 o'clock. It's a great way to end off. Charel is right on the side of our stage here if you want to talk to him and get some of his CDs too. It's music that's out of this world.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here it is. Readings by Robert.